Okay. Hey guys, CryptoDad here again. Thanks for joining me on the live stream Q&A in LA every Friday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where we talk about Bitcoin and how to move crypto around. So let's get going. All right, guys, welcome. Thanks for coming today. I'm going to adjust my resolution over here on my monitor so you guys can see what I'm doing. All righty. Got it. All right. So let's move over here. My head's a little too big tonight, isn't it? Let's take it down a notch. There we go. That's not so bad, right? All right, let's take a look at the pop-up window here, see who's joined us tonight. I'm going to pop that out and move it over here. Sorry, I was caught a little off guard. I was trying to find an article on our main story about Trump. Parlay, Grand Illusion, thanks for joining. Will, Shahid, Great, Caper, Celtic FC fan, Chadwick, Rockstar, Betty A, hello, Mr. David from Texas. I just had a session with Mr. David last night on the Patreon Q&A, so I'm glad he was able to join us tonight too. Echo Strum, David C, Rockstar, Betty A, too funny, head too big. Yeah, my head was too big. I'm messing around with the cameras because I have this new camera. I had to like redo the boxes, right? Because the old boxes were for the old webcam. So sorry about last week. For those of you who were here, we lost power. That was last week, wasn't it? That was 1 week ago, right? Yeah, on the 5th. It was crazy. We lost power in our apartment building. One of the cables behind our building in our driveway snapped. And then when I went back there to check it out, the fire department was there because there was a cable flopping around. Anyway, big thing. And I continued the live stream on my phone. And then we went to eat. And then we got hit with an earthquake. So the power going out had nothing to do with the earthquake. The earthquake came after the power outage. Wow. It was crazy. All right, so the big story tonight is that a sitting president of the United States mentioned Bitcoin. Now this is historic, really, because I don't believe any of the, Bitcoin has only been around since 2009. So I guess Obama was president when Bitcoin first debuted. There's some kind of craziness going on behind me here. Anyway, I won't get worked up over it. So he never mentioned Bitcoin in public. He may have talked about it in private, but he never mentioned it in public, good or bad. And I remember in 2017, when I started this channel, I would check the news daily for any mention at all of Bitcoin. Good or bad. Just the fact that it was even mentioned was, I thought was cool. And it was slow coming. And of course, as the bull market of 2017 got into full swing, there were more and more negative comments from mainstream news. But the president never talked about Bitcoin. So here we have a sitting president of the United States who mentioned Bitcoin. And of course, said he's not a fan. This is the most what I could say original article where it just talks about that he mentioned it and what he said. And it's a little bit during the way the news cycle works in the U.S. When a story breaks, sometimes it spawns related stories, and then you can't even find the original story. So in this case, it took me a while to find this story. I think I read it this morning. So, you know, he tweeted it. He didn't actually, like, get in front of the podium and talk about cryptocurrency, but he tweeted it. And it's pretty much directly related to the fact that the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Powell, mentioned Facebook Libra, I believe, when he was testifying before Congress the day before yesterday, I think. I'm not sure. So I'm not sure if that had anything to do with the timing of why Donald Trump chose this moment to chime in on Bitcoin, but he pretty much agreed with the Fed's position, which is that I don't think the Fed actually mentioned Bitcoin. He may have, but this is mostly about the Facebook cryptocurrency Libra, and the Fed chairman spoke out against it. He thought that it needed to be regulated. He thought that it should be there should be a moratorium on its development. All the things that were already being talked about by Maxine Walters, the Congresswoman, and I believe Facebook kind of shrugged her off and said, "Thanks for the info, but we're still going to move forward with this thing." And then the chairman of the Federal Reserve also gave a stern warning to Facebook and saying that, you know, they needed to be careful. Basically, he was threatening, I think, threatening them with, you know, hey, you're basically still dependent on the current system, so don't screw with us. You know, because Facebook obviously has large bank accounts, and you know those assets can be attacked or sanctioned or whatever, however you want to call it. They could be fined. You know, they could be charged with regulatory violations. I mean, they're vulnerable to the Federal Reserve Bank and the regulators. So, and Bitcoin is not really, because it's not owned by a single person. So, you know, Facebook is a target. They're trying to develop something that threatens the banking system as we know it. And so they were attacked by the Fed chairman. And then Donald Trump sort of put the icing on the cake by bringing it up, you know. And I think one of the things that he mentioned is that he says something about they if Facebook and other companies want to become a bank, they must seek a banking charter and become subject to all banking regulations. You know, which is kind of ridiculous on the face of it, because Facebook is not asking to become a bank. They're asking to form their own currency, independent of banks. They're trying to, you know, come up with another angle with this whole system of value, this payment system. So they're really not asking to be a bank, but they're being treated as if they are. So, and then of course, you know, Donald Trump's arguments against Bitcoin are fairly standard. You know, this kind of stuff was being said in 2017. It's not based on anything. It's, you know, based on thin air. It's not regulated. Facilitate unlawful behavior. We've heard this argument time and time again. You know, those of us who know about Bitcoin know that it is not an anonymous crypto. It's not anonymous. It's pseudonymous, if I can pronounce it. It can be traced. In fact, it's easier to catch people screwing around with Bitcoin than it is to catch people that are laundering cash, U.S. dollars. And every, you know, criminal behavior, 95% of criminal behavior uses cash, not Bitcoin. I don't know. This argument is so tired. It's like I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Facebook just fined $5 billion. Okay, I didn't hear about that. How can I believe in Bitcoin after what Donald Trump says? Well, you know, when I heard it, I thought to myself, is this good or bad for Bitcoin? You know, because he's such a divisive figure that, you know, half the country, you know, just reacts to anything he endorses with negativity, and the other half reacts positively to anything he endorses. So half the country is going to go either way. But the more I thought of it, the fans of Donald Trump are more in the deregulation camp, the anti-government camp. They elected Trump because he was an outsider to a certain extent. And so, the libertarian type people are more fans of crypto. So, but let's talk about this. What was the effect that Donald Trump talking about crypto had? First of all, it gave us, those of us who are Bitcoin believers, it gave us some publicity. There may have been a lot of people that follow Donald Trump on Twitter or watch the news on TV who had never even heard of Bitcoin. Seriously. I'm sure there were some people out there that were like, what's Bitcoin? So it sort of brought some awareness to the space. This is an article on Yahoo Finance, which is kind of a mainstream news publication, but it has a lot of articles about Bitcoin. Not always positive, but and then I guess Tom Lee mentioned that the fact that Trump attacked Bitcoin could push Bitcoin up to 40,000 by year end. That's Tom Lee's take on it. So a lot of Bitcoin advocates were, I guess, a little bit upset that he attacked Bitcoin, and then others were like, "Hey, this is a good thing for the sphere." Okay, so that's the tweet. It was kind of a long, connected tweet, and I read this article and I thought it was pretty funny. This guy, Brett Arends, who I guess normally doesn't agree with Trump, agreed with everything Trump said and went on to talk about Bitcoin the way, a standard 2017 mainstream news attack. It's been 2 years now. You'd think they would come up with a better criticism of Bitcoin than it's based on nothing and it's used by criminals. I think in 2019, people know that that's hype, that it's not true. Bitcoin is still around. So anyway, and then this article, which I thought was pretty interesting, if I can find it. Whoops, I lost something there. Okay. Yeah, this was the one I kind of enjoyed the most. Trump tweeting about Bitcoin is achievement unlocked, says Coinbase CEO. I can't think of his name here. Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, one of the largest, most noteworthy cryptocurrency, U.S.-based cryptocurrency exchanges in the world, has said that that's an achievement unlocked. But it is really it's a thing. That the sitting president of the United States felt it necessary to mention Bitcoin, and usually it's sort of like they. The quote, first they ignore you, which they had for quite some time. Then they laugh at you, which is what was happening in 2017 and 18. And now they're fighting us, right? They're actively attacking Bitcoin and trying to discredit it on more than just the grounds before. I don't believe the Fed chairman said anything about it being based on nothing. But anyway, so that's pretty much an interesting story, big news. And then let's take a look at the price action of Bitcoin. It did go down. We had quite a carnage over the last couple of days when the Fed chairman mentioned Facebook, Libra, and Bitcoin. There was a consensus in mainstream that the pump in Bitcoin over the last couple of weeks was due to Facebook's announcement, although we all know that there were many other reasons why Bitcoin is on the rise, mostly adoption and acceptance and institutional interest and investment opportunities in the institutional sphere. But there was a lot of talk about Facebook pumped on Facebook or Bitcoin pumped on Facebook's announcement, and now after the Fed spoke, almost to the minute, Bitcoin, the entire cryptocurrency sector took a dive. It was pretty heart wrenching. The altcoins got hit pretty hard, and then after Trump tweeted, it's sort of recovered. So we were pushing 12. I mean, we were at 14 a couple weeks ago, and we had just popped over 13 when the Fed chairman spoke and dropped it back down below 11. I don't think it really got that low. It really, it didn't really tank by that much, Bitcoin. Now, some of the others did, Cardano being one. Cardano approached an all-time low. But here we were at 13 on July 10th, 13,109, and I don't know if this is exactly when the Fed chairman spoke, but it started to tank downward here, right? Well, I don't know. Where's our low point here? I thought that it had gotten below 11, but I could be wrong about that. So it didn't really tank by that much. But then today it's up. Right, today from its low of 11,191, we were up to 11,884. We've kind of stabilized a little bit, but it's definitely still kicking, right? And I don't know if that's in reaction to the Trump thing, just to spite him. I don't know. All right. Okay. All right. So, yes, we had a big night last week. Scott is here. That's great. Good to have you, Scott. Can you use one Nano app to see multiple Nano S storage devices? Yes, you can. I'll demo that here in a sec. Well, I'll just demo it right now. So I basically have Ledger Live here, and here we go. I have set, and you can add a new account simply by connecting a new device. So I could go in, I could connect my white and choose add account, and then if I had Bitcoin on the white, it would add a Bitcoin account based on connecting to the white. Whatever ledger happens to be connected at the moment you add the account, it will scan, right? And so you can see here that I have named my accounts accordingly. So I have the Ledger Black here, and the Ledger Black has some Ripple on it. So I connected the Ledger Black, I chose add account, it found the Ripple wallet, created an empty one, whichever you want to do, and then I just named it accordingly. And when you add a new account, it's editable, right? You can edit, and then so now I have an XRP Ledger Black account that has some XRP in it. And then you'll see over here that I have an XRP Ledger X account for my Ledger Nano X. So I'm using one copy of Ledger Live, and I can use it to manage accounts on both devices. Now you do have to sort of, if you decide you want to send something out from one of the accounts, you need the right device connected when you do that, right? Because it's going to confirm on the device. And if you have them both connected at the same time, you're going to have problems. But it does. We don't really need to have them all connected at the same time in order to see their balances at the same time and look at the value of the portfolio, right? So even if the ledger is not connected, the account still indicates the current value. See, it just changed a little there. The current the account will indicate the current US dollar value of your cryptocurrency wallet without the device being attached. So you can manage all of the cryptocurrency that you have spread across different devices. Easy. It's not that difficult at all. So the answer to that question is yes. Yes, Trump always said no such thing as bad exposure, and Trump proved his point last night. Yeah. Rex, I'm new to the channel. Do you think XRP has a leg, considering Ripple is working with regulatory compliance to usher out the mass utility of XRP? Well, we've talked about XRP, and it is kind of a banker's coin. It is a privately run company and a privately run blockchain. So it's not a true cryptocurrency in that sense, but it does use blockchain technology and cryptography. So it does share that commonality with other cryptocurrency. It's kind of in a class of its own. And, by market cap, it's number 3, I believe. Yeah, so it's no slouch, right? XRP probably has a good future going forward, but it's not a true cryptocurrency in that sense of the word. But that doesn't really, matter that much. But Bitcoin is a decentralized, open source project that is run by volunteers. They're motivated volunteers. They're fervent volunteers. They believe in the project and everything else. But it's not a private company, and neither is Ethereum. Now, there are a lot of smaller and Litecoin is the same. It's an open source project, and Bitcoin Cash. But Binance Coin is it is sort of it is tied to the Binance cryptocurrency exchange, and it has its own blockchain. But I'm not sure that how it if it's open source and decentralized. I'm not too sure about that. But most true cryptocurrencies are open source, right? But here's Cardano. I was talking it's up today, but it just really took a heartbreaking tank over the last few days. It was, here it was, let me see if I can do 1 month. I thought that, not that long ago, it was up at 10 cents, right? June 26th. And then, over the last few days, it really tanked after the Fed chairman spoke, even approaching an all-time low. So it was kind of gut-wrenching to see that happen. Cardano go down so much with this altcoin drop, whatever the heck it was. So anything. So XRP probably going to see good things. I'm not like a XRP to the moon guy or anything like that. But you can't argue with the numbers, right? It's number 3 market cap, and it's been that way for quite some time. Okay, BTC is easier to track than a submarine full of cocaine or a JP Morgan ship with tons of cocaine. Good. I like that's very topical of you. What is wrong with this thing? I don't know. Echo, turn on concentrate. Okay. Yeah, I was really freaking out about that black blur behind me. I think it's gone now. All right. Now I'm the only black blur left, right? It's just me. There's still some interference back there. It was a lighting issue, I believe. Okay. BTC is easier to track than a submarine full of cocaine. Yeah, BTC can be tracked. So a lot of these criticisms that are leveled at Bitcoin specifically, where it talks about that it's used for money laundering and criminal activity, those are very stale arguments. Bitcoin, like we mentioned earlier, it's easier to track and catch criminals that are trying to launder money with Bitcoin than it is criminals that are trying to launder money and do nefarious things using U.S. cash, right? So anyway, I'm a believer in Bitcoin, but I'm not a believer in the price range to 4K. Do think it will be able to stable around 15K. It's a good stable dip. I'm just going to look at these, and then I've got an interesting take on that market value that we talk about. I transfer BCH to BTC address. Can I recover my money? No. Okay, you cannot transfer cryptocurrency to invalid addresses. It doesn't work. I don't know if there's any way to do it. You're probably just lesson learned, right? And anyone that says they can help you is probably trying to scam you. They'll probably ask for your private keys or something of that nature. So no, don't send Bitcoin, I think that's BCH, Bitcoin Cash, to Bitcoin. BCH? This BCH? BCH. Yeah, Bitcoin Cash. Yeah, you can't send Bitcoin Cash to a Bitcoin address. You'll lose it. Can Kryptos be translated from the Nano S to the Nano X without seeding it over the blockchain or without using the 25C recovery? Any way to sync them together? Okay. Well, you just you brought up both good possibilities, so you left me with no option but to say no. But using the seed to recover the wallet is the easiest and cleanest way to gain access to all of the wallets that are on your Ledger Nano S and put them on your Ledger Nano X. Just do a recovery of your seed phrase and they'll all be there. Or you could just transfer what you want piecemeal over to the X across the blockchain. That's what the blockchain was built for, peer-to-peer private transactions that don't have a third party. And of course they will be traceable on the blockchain, depending on what type of cryptocurrency it is. Dash and Monero, of course, are privacy-related coins. But and I have some videos. I have 2 videos on transferring your assets over to the Ledger Nano X. And let's see, we've got this, I think, is the cleanest one. And what happened, the reason I did that video is because I had done an earlier video. If we go back here, this is the one on using the 24-word recovery phrase. But I had done, what did I do? Oh, it went back to the top. Okay. Here, I did this video, how to transfer all your cryptocurrency assets from Ledger S to Ledger Nano X. And that was basically a video where I connected them both to the computer at the same time and just sent the cryptocurrency back and forth in Ledger Live. And pretty straightforward. But someone on this video commented and said, hey, why don't you just restore from the seed phrase of the S, right? So if you have a Ledger Nano S with a seed phrase and you got all your cryptocurrency on that Ledger Nano S and you don't want to transfer it across the blockchain and incur fees, then just restore from seed using the recovery phrase of the S onto the Ledger Nano X. Nothing is getting moved, right? The only thing that's happening is the Ledger Nano X is getting that master private key from the old ledger, and it's just pointing to the same wallets that the S established. I know it sounds weird, but your coins are not on your device anyway. They're out on the blockchain. Your devices just hold the private keys, which give you access to those addresses on the blockchain. So when you restore from seed, you're not moving cryptocurrency at all. You're just putting the private keys for all your wallets on the new device. And those private keys point to your current balances. So nothing is getting moved at all. You're just repurposing your brand new Ledger Nano X to be a mirror image of your old S, right? But the advantage is that maybe your S you had 7 or 8 different cryptocurrencies, and you couldn't store all the apps on the device at the same time. So you had to constantly delete one and add another, and delete one and add another, and manage your apps. The X will hold like 10 or 20 at least, maybe more, at the same time. So more storage space, bigger screen. Enough said, right? If you want a good hardware wallet and that can hold lots of different cryptocurrencies and is easy to use, then the X is a no-brainer. And if you already have some on an S, then and you've been struggling with it, small screen, not very much storage, then the X is your answer. I mean, I don't want to sound like I work for Ledger, because I really don't. But they do pay me commission if you follow that link below. But, I use the Ledgers, and that's why I'm an advocate for them. 15K is just the beginning. Local Bitcoin to buy BTC with PayPal. That's possible. Local Bitcoin is having to comply with regulations a little more, so I don't think they allow cash, but any kind of credit card or PayPal probably is still doable with the proper verification and ID. Does iTunes back up completely Google Authenticator? Stephen, I'm going to address this very quickly. I used to think that it did. I tried to do a full encrypted backup of iTunes, of my phone, right? And as a test. And then I wiped the phone, and then I restored the phone, and my Google Authenticator was still there. All the codes were still there. So then I was like, glory, glory, hallelujah. This is the easiest way. So I ran out. I got myself a brand new phone. I backed up my phone. I had done this with a family member's phone, my test. And so I brought home my brand new phone, and I did a full backup of my current phone on iTunes, did a full restore onto my brand new phone, and looked at Google Authenticator, and it was empty. It was like it had just been installed. So the answer to your question is, it should, but for some reason it doesn't, right? And I figured maybe it only works if you're restoring to the exact same device that you backed up, to. I may be wrong about that, but it seemed to work when I did it as a test. I wiped a device, I backed up a device, wiped it, and then restored it, and the Google Authenticator was there. But when I bought a new device and tried to restore from my old device's backup, it didn't give me all the codes, right? It gave me the app, but not the code. So I had to manually, one by one, go into each cryptocurrency exchange, disable 2FA with the old phone, and re-enable 2FA using the new phone. That's pretty much unless you want to use Authy, and Authy has a backup feature for 2FA. The only problem with Authy is it's not universally supported. There are a lot of websites that don't support Authy, but they do support Google Authenticator. So that's our conundrum, right? We've got to do the piecemeal transfer of your code. And it's not really a transfer, right? You're basically disabling 2FA on the account, using the old phone's 2FA, and then re-enabling 2FA on the account using your new phone, right? That's why when you upgrade your phone, make sure you hang on to your old phone so that you'll be able to access all of your 2FA accounts so that you can transfer. Now, there are some sites that give you that standalone backup code that you can write down, and then you can use that code to manually create a new code generator on the new Google Authenticator. But not all sites give you that code. And it's cleaner to just scan the barcode because the code generator is more meaningful. If you do it manually, you have to type it in yourself. And the code generator will still be there. Anyway, I digress. Scott Lee. All right, Scott. You did something that made... I'm blurry again? You're kidding me. Whoops. Yeah. Is that better? XRP is a scam. That's a bold statement. Yeah. I guess anybody's a scam, really. My Nano S broke. My Nano S broke, the screen went dull, and I could not put my PIN into it. When scrolling through the numbers, it was skipping the one I needed and showing the previous number. I got a new one now. And I'm hoping that you had your JP Crypto, that you had your 24-word recovery phrase. Because that is basically the key to all of your cryptocurrency. That is the mnemonic English representation of that master private key. So you can crush your Nano, you can drop your Nano, you can lose your Nano, you can do all kinds of things with your Nano. But if it's lost or destroyed, you can always buy a new one and restore to it using that 24-word recovery phrase. In fact, some people like to buy two and then have that second one restored as a mirror image of the first one in case something happens to the first one and you need immediate access. Because normally you got to wait a few days if you have to order a new one, right? So I've got a few ledgers laying around and a Ledger X. I wouldn't mind having an extra Ledger X in case something happens to my main one. But been pretty trouble-free so far. Okay, so Roger Ripple uses Authy. So I'll just throw this out to you, Roger. How do you find Authy support these days? Are you frustrated? Are there a few sites that you run across that don't support Authy? Or do you find that Authy is pretty much, you know, if they have Google Authenticator, they've got Authy as well, and you're fine? Are there any sites that you've run across that don't support Authy that you would like to be using, and so you're forced to sort of use Google Authenticator for those particular sites? I'm just curious. So William May is here. Good. Thank you for being here, William. In 5 years, you were. What did he say? I missed what he said. Oh, LTC goes to the moon soon. Interesting. Okay. In 5 years, you got those words. Review the history of Bitcoin 10 years ago. Many people said the same thing, where in the new age, believe it or not, it's still true. What's all the hype about proof of keys? If you have your coins on a hard wallet, isn't that the same? Yeah. Proof of keys is a movement that basically says you should keep your cryptocurrency in your own wallet, right? Whatever that type of wallet might be. It could be a paper wallet, it could be a hardware wallet, it could be a desktop-based wallet where you control the private keys. There are also phone-based apps where you control the private keys, like Trust Wallet. And Coinbase has an iOS-based wallet where you control your private keys. All of these are wallets where you control the private key. And that's what the proof of keys movement is all about. Far too many people store their cryptocurrency on exchanges, and then they say, oh, I own, 5 Bitcoin. But if they're being stored on Coinbase's website, they own it, not you. They're just sort of giving you access to it as a courtesy, right? Just like a lot of people think when you put money in the bank that, they take your little sack of money and then they put it in a little shelf that has your name on it, right? And this is theirs. That's John's money. But that's not how banking works. When you put your money in the bank, that money, it becomes the bank's money, and they can do whatever they want with it within reason. They can't violate the law or anything. They can't give it to, their friends. But they basically can invest it any way they want because it's their money. You've given it to them. The only thing the bank gives you in exchange for your money is a promise to pay you if you should ever ask for it. Really, that's not the same thing as like holding your money on a shelf that has a label on it that says John's money, right? Your money goes into the banking system when you put your money in a bank. And if the bank fails and they can't pay you back, then your money is gone, right? There have been bank runs all through history. You know, the Great Depression, 2008, a lot of money evaporated, people's pensions, that kind of stuff. So cryptocurrency is, when you hold it, it's yours. And that's what the proof of keys movement is all about. That you should be holding your own cryptocurrency in your own wallet. Roger Ripple, I've been fine except for Binance. I don't think they allow Authy, but at this point it won't matter soon when they ban all US customers. Oh, okay. So Binance doesn't support Authy. I knew there was somebody that I run across that doesn't support Authy. I believe your best bet with Binance before September is to get your assets off of their cryptocurrency exchange, their Binance.com proper. And, when the new Binance comes out that's in the US, I'm sure it'll be very similar, but there'll be some coins that they won't have available. But, if you like to use Binance for trading, you can just pick up where you left off when the US version of Binance comes out. We'll see. Every time I transfer Bitcoin, it tries to give me a new address. Why does it do this? And should I use a different address each time? Problem is having to wait 48 hours for whitelisting. Okay, so Rockstar is, I'm not sure what app he's using. If he's talking about his antivirus or anti-malware, having to whitelist a new Bitcoin address, but yeah, I believe best practice for a cryptocurrency wallet is to generate a brand new public address per transaction. This increases security and privacy. If you have a public address for a wallet and you have it written down or saved somewhere, you can keep sending cryptocurrency to that address if you want to. So there's nothing stopping you from doing that. So even if it's a Ledger Nano S, you can continue to send cryptocurrency to like that first address that it generates. You don't have to go into the Ledger every single time and have it generate a brand new address for you in order for it to receive the crypto. I mean, just try it. Send a little bit and see. Hey, it shows up. But anyone can monitor that public address on the blockchain, and they can sort of piece together your financial history by just looking at all of the transactions on that public blockchain. So if your wallet is generating a brand new address every time you ask it, you do a receive operation and it generates a new address, then it protects your security and your privacy. So the less of a easy it is to construct a history of all your transactions, the more private and secure your wallet is. So that's why wallets do that. But I'm not sure about that whitelisting issue. I don't know who's whitelisting your addresses. I don't think the Ledger does that, because when I go and do a receive on the Ledger, it doesn't take 48 hours for the Bitcoin to come. I would love to read that comment, but it's just so out there that I'm not gonna allow it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it. It was kind of a conspiracy theory thing. Not that I'm not a fan of conspiracy theories. I'm an avid conspiracy theorist. I love to read about conspiracy theories. Always have. Even back before, way back. Anyway, I love conspiracy stuff. But that one was a little bit out there. Has anybody used a paper wallet? Well, yes, there are paper wallets that you can generate. Why don't I've talked too much, right? Let's do a little. I think this is gonna work. Oops, doesn't like that. Oh, I must have misspelled it. All right. Yeah, there's a lot of other sites out there that if you misspell a website. This is bitaddress.org. It is a Bitcoin paper wallet generator, right? So I can move my cursor around to generate some randomness, and once it gets to 100%, it's going to generate a paper wallet. Now this is a very interesting process because the paper wallet shows both keys, and this is the core of what a Bitcoin address is all about, right? Pardon me. There's a public address, and then there's a secret key, and you don't ever reveal the secret key to anyone. Now this is just a randomly generated empty wallet. I'm not going to put anything in it, and once I close this website, it'll be gone forever unless somebody watching screen caps it and decides they're foolish enough to store any cryptocurrency in there, because everyone has seen this, right? But it's interesting that there is such randomness in the Bitcoin key pairs that I can generate a random Bitcoin address, and it's not going to be someone else's. It's really just hard to wrap your mind around that you wouldn't just get lucky enough to accidentally generate a random Bitcoin address that already had some Bitcoin in it, right? It would seem like that would be something that could happen, right? But the chances of it are so slim. It's so difficult to wrap your mind around this. There's a great YouTube video where it addresses how incredibly impossible it would be to guess someone's random key, or generate, in essence, generate the same random key twice. It's just unbelievably complex, the mathematics that goes into all of this. So anyway, if no one was watching me, I could print this out and hope that no one was monitoring my Wi-Fi or my printer cache or whatever. There's so many ways people can. And of course, I wouldn't do it while I'm online either. You can download this website, right? Where is it here? Right, you can clone the whole site and download it, and run the generator offline, right? You can put it on a flash drive and put it on a air-gapped computer and generate your paper wallet, print it out from a USB, onto an old printer that's not connected to the internet, and then you've got this Bitcoin address, and that public address, you can send Bitcoin in there all day long, and you can use that public address to check your balance, right? Because you've got a barcode. So like, okay, let's see if we do this just for kicks, right? Let's do this. I think I've already done this. I don't know if this will work or not. Of course, now it's not going to work. Okay. I think I can do this. Let me try this. Bit address. Bit. Oh, no. I want Blockchain Explorer. Okay, so I have a Blockchain Explorer here, and I would like to where is this? Ah, there we go. I would like to use my phone to scan that QR code, but I can't. I don't know why. I thought that it had like that feature I could use to just hold my phone up to that QR code, and it would read the balance, and it would just tell me it's empty, because it is. So you can monitor the balance and hide stuff in there for days and days and days, years and years and years, and no one would have access to that address except you, because you have the private key. And then at some point, if you wanted to cash out, you could sweep that private key into a wallet and gain access to the Bitcoin. It's the most secure way to store Bitcoin. I actually did that. Scott mentions, why not gift your friends? Hooey. I'm just going to turn off screen sharing here real quick. Yeah, I gifted my nephew and niece Ethereum paper wallets a couple Christmases ago, back in 2017. So yeah, you can do that. There are a lot of paper wallets out there. Litecoin, Light address. Whoops. You can do the same thing with a Litecoin address. You can generate a paper wallet with, for Litecoin. We talked about this last week. I gifted a paper wallet to my daughter with one Litecoin. So, and we printed it out and we laminated it, and it's got one Bitcoin on there. I don't know what's taken this one so long. It doesn't seem to be making progress. It's the same concept though. There. So you can generate a Litecoin paper wallet. You can generate a Cardano paper wallet. There are a lot of lower cap coins. You can generate paper wallets. And then you can send some coin into that wallet and then give it to your friend or relative and just tell them, don't show that secret key to anybody. You can use that secret key. You can scan that with your phone if you wanted to sweep it into a phone-based wallet. But yeah, you have to be really careful with that key. Binance also do white list of addresses. White list of addresses. I don't know. I thought that, Binance always tends to give you the same address every time if you're trying to send money to it. I'm assuming that you're saying that your cryptocurrency exchange won't let you send to a new address until it's been verified. Maybe Kraken does that. I don't even think Kraken does that. But, Binance, Bittrex, Coinbase, I've never had them tell me that I have to wait 24 or 48 hours to send to a brand new public address. So I'm still a little in the dark about what you mean by that. Okay, so William said his phone got hacked. He had a phone-based wallet with private keys on his phone, and his phone got hacked, and he lost some crypto. So now he doesn't store crypto on any phone-based apps. He uses the Ledger. So that's his policy now that he's learned his lesson, right? And a phone-based wallet that has its own private key stored on your phone is more vulnerable than a paper wallet or the Ledger, but it is more convenient as well. So there is a use case for phone-based type wallet that is on your phone for everyday type crypto. Paper wallet, those gifts. Okay. It says it's a new security feature. Okay. Whitelisting. Okay. 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 All right. So why don't we buy a little crypto? Now, I was going to mention that there's an app and an exchange called Crypto.com. If you're not familiar. is here. So Crypto.com is a, oh, come on, Rex. There it is. All right, so it's a phone-based app, but it's also a cryptocurrency exchange. And so you can buy and sell cryptos on it just like Binance or Coinbase or anything else. But it's iOS-based. There's no website. And I'm partnering with them. They reached out to me, and they want to sponsor me, and I will use their platform. I will do how-to videos on the new features that they may announce on their platform. Most YouTubers find some product that they believe in that sponsors them. Like people that are rig build will be sponsored by certain component companies like Corsair or or some of the chip makers will let these guys test out their chips and that sort of thing. And I have a lot of hardware wallet manufacturers like Trezor and a couple of others who have reached out to me to hey, will you mind doing a demo on our product? And like I said, I don't mind demoing people's products if they work. I've had a few wallets shipped to me that I did not care for and did not do the videos for. So, and Crypto.com is, they reached out to me. I've already done one video for them. And I asked them, why don't you have a website? And they said, for security, we felt that websites are vulnerable to hacking. And so our model is iOS-based type servers that don't have the vulnerabilities of web servers. So this is a plus in their favor. And so you can buy cryptocurrency on this exchange using your debit card, but the fees are a bit high for the debit card option. So the best way to fund it is with cash, and you can deposit cash from your bank account into this Crypto.com account, right? Basically, you use your account to transfer money into their account. So it's more of a push than a pull, because Coinbase and Bittrex allow you to transfer money into their accounts. Coinbase will allow you to connect your bank account directly, and so you can actually tell Coinbase to initiate the transfer, right? Coinbase will actually contact your bank and have the money transferred. Whereas with Crypto.com, you kind of have to push the money from your bank to theirs. But once that's done, your fees are very low. That's what they told me. So I've started that. My money isn't in there yet. I did stake some of their MCO. They have some credit cards that you can use to spend your crypto. So there are a lot of interesting features with Crypto.com. And I will use them in some of my videos, but right now I don't have it funded. So I'm going to go back to my old favorite Cash App. Cash App is a very easy way to buy Bitcoin. They don't support anything but Bitcoin right now, but you can easily use that Bitcoin to fund your other cryptocurrency exchange accounts so that you can purchase any other altcoins. So we'll start with Cash App tonight, and we'll go down here to where it says Bitcoin, and we'll click buy. We'll put in 100. Oops. All right, and then we hit buy, and then we confirm. All right. All right, and so now I purchased the Bitcoin, and I'm holding the Bitcoin in the Cash App, but that's a misnomer. I'm not really holding the Bitcoin in the Cash App. The Cash App is holding the Bitcoin for me. So I could just move this directly into my ledger if I wanted to, this Bitcoin. But instead, we're going to throw it over onto an exchange. I'll show you how to move your Bitcoin onto an exchange. Pretty simple. So I'm going to use the Binance app. Right? There's a Binance app out there which gets approved and disapproved by the iOS store occasionally. We just go over to funds, scroll down to Bitcoin, hit deposit, copy address, roll back over here, scroll down to withdraw Bitcoin, slide this guy all the way over, hit withdraw. I'm going to choose enter manually, and we'll tap and paste twice. All right. And then we'll confirm that withdrawal. And then we'll enter the PIN, which I'll hide from you guys, as if it's a big deal. It's not really. All right. And so there, I've initiated the withdrawal. So, you guys have seen me do that 100,000,000 times. So we bought the Bitcoin using the Cash App, and then we transferred it over onto, we transferred it over to Binance, and it's going to take a little while for that to happen. So if I had been using Crypto.com for that, as soon as the money arrived and I decided to buy the Bitcoin, I'd be ready, cocked and loaded, right, to make transactions. So you can see here that there's a balance for the MCO that I staked, and then there's crypto wallets. Let's see, where's a crypto wallet? Oh, I see. Oh, down at the bottom they have wallet. So these are all the different cryptocurrencies that you can purchase on Crypto.com. And interestingly enough, you can purchase Binance Coin, which is kind of cool. But it is a non-custodial wallet, right? But it's no slouch, right? So if we go to if we go to coinmarket.cap, you can see that crypto chain, it's down quite a bit today, but it's up there in the, around the top 20. So it's a high market cap, and I look forward to working with them, and I hope that it will help me save some money when I buy, and there's a lot of advantages to it. So we'll look forward to that. Okay, bye, Scott. It was good to see you. I've still got some time to move some crypto around. Now, also, there was a story that Binance, and of course it'll be lost. Let me try that. Okay, right. So this was a couple of days ago. Binance announced that they're going to make crypto transactions faster. In other words, when you deposit cryptocurrency in your Binance account, they're not going to require the full blockchain confirmation that they did before. They're going to allow you to spend it quicker, right? They're not going to take so, and then when you withdraw it, it'll withdraw faster too. So Binance, there's a lot of good stuff happening at Binance, and they're the largest cryptocurrency in the world. They're kind of getting a bad rap lately because they're they've decided that it's time to block access to the U.S. for regulatory reasons, right? And then they're going to create a standalone U.S.-based cryptocurrency exchange owned by the same company, but not having all of the same coins. Right? So when we get onto Binance, we'll do some crypto trading. Right? I could do it with the app, but I'll go ahead and log into their website. Now, while we're waiting for that coin to come through, so this is one of the sites that our viewer mentioned earlier does not support Authy, but that's not a deal breaker. There are other sites you can use. I'm going to use the Authenticator. All right. While we're waiting on the, and we can check too in transaction history and see if there's a deposit coming in. I don't think there is. It really depends. At this point, we're waiting on the Cash app to move my Bitcoin out onto the blockchain. And I have noticed, though, that once that happens, the Binance gives me my confirmation right away. So I'll get the alert that the Cash app has initiated my withdrawal onto the blockchain, and then a few seconds later I'll get the Binance alert that the coins have been deposited in my Binance account. The reason I brought that story up here was that I have noticed that Binance is much faster confirming your deposits than it was. But there was a couple of other stories that I think I missed. Oh yeah. I ran across this site, and I should have talked about this at the beginning while everyone was still fresh. Price charts, here it is. There's a website called Coin Fair Value. And Coin Fair Value, as you can see, it sort of uses the US dollar as its baseline. But what it does is it uses the coin's actual statistics to come up with a fair market value based on the coin's internal measurements, right? How many transactions, per day or per hour or whatever. There's quite a few criterion that it's based on, because the interesting thing here is that if we look at coinmarketcap.com, all of the transactions that they're reporting are exchange-based transactions, and the prices that they're reporting are exchange-based pricing, right? They're not really connected directly to the coin, right? It doesn't really reflect how much activity is occurring on the coin's blockchain. Indirectly, it does, because when someone buys and sells Bitcoin, there are those transactions or transfers Bitcoin. Those transactions appear on the blockchain. But Coin Fair Value is a website that sort of takes the internal value of the coin. And so you'll look here. They're fair. See, it says the intrinsic or theoretical value of the coin according to its current usage. Fair value is a result of a new yet simple rational economic model for currencies, similar to what discounted cash flow is for stocks. So if you'll notice here, fair value for the US dollar is 1, right? That's their baseline. And the euro, which is also based on its rate of exchange to the US dollar. And you'll notice here that their fair value of Bitcoin is lower than its current price. I think someone mentioned that 40K Bitcoin was, he didn't think that was he would call a fair market value of Bitcoin. Even an exchange-based value of Bitcoin. So you'll notice here that Bitcoin's fair value is much lower than its current market price. Very interesting, right? And then you'll notice that some of these other coins, like XRP, is higher. Its fair value is higher than its current exchange-based price, or cryptocurrency exchange-based price. Most of these are a bit higher. So Stellar fair value is about 36 cents. And here's one of the interesting ones. Binance Coin, which is currently at $29, actually it's a little higher than that, is fair market value is $179 according to this website. So it's kind of an interesting website to sort of do a little bit of research based on other indicators than just its current price. Because, of course, most of these markets have their patterns that have been analyzed and people know about based on market psychology and that sort of thing. But I really like the fact that this website looks at some other factors involved in the price or fair market value of a cryptocurrency. In fact, let me see here. They have a learn section here where it talks about what it is and how it's determined and everything else. So I'll put those down in the description, so you guys can check them out. I don't know what that's all about. Oh, that's an old... sorry, gang. Here we go. Here's what I want. All right, so I'll put it at the top. What the heck? All right, so that's coin fair value, and then the coin fair value learn is pretty educational if you're into that sort of thing. I encourage you to expand your horizons, do your own research about, what, and it will give you a better idea of what a cryptocurrency is, as opposed to just its current price and its hype and what people are currently paying for it. There are some that argue, myself included, that many stocks that are currently out there are really not based on the earnings and the potential of these companies. Many of these large cap stocks on the New York Stock Exchange, they've been allowed to repurchase their own stock. That used to be illegal. I'm not sure exactly when that law changed, but it used to be illegal for companies to buy their own stock. So a lot of the current stock valuations are based on the fact that the company is buying its own stock and pumping up the price. So it's not really the current price of many companies on the New York Stock Exchange would not be a true reflection of its fair market value. So in that same sense, the money that someone is willing to pay for a particular cryptocurrency on any given exchange on any given day may not be a true reflection of the value proposition of the coin itself, right? So this is a pretty good website. You can check it out. Look up your favorite coin and see what you think, whether you agree or don't agree. I thought it was very interesting, and I wanted to talk about it during the live stream. Okay, so can't withdraw Bitcoin from Cash App. Not able to get authorization from Cash App. Scanning my face. Seems I'm too ugly for them. Yeah, there's a little bit of a dance that you have to do with the Cash App to get authorized to withdraw Bitcoin. It's pretty easy to just use the Cash App, and you can buy Bitcoin all day long and sell it too on the Cash App. But in order to withdraw Bitcoin, there's an additional authorization that needs to happen, or verification that needs to happen. I didn't realize that it had anything to do with my picture. I don't remember that. But I don't remember what I had for lunch yesterday either. But I believe, I guess it does involve uploading a selfie, right? Now, I think you could possibly upload your own selfie that you may have stored on your phone somewhere already, or you can sort of take the selfie on the fly. I'm not sure. But if it's not verifying your selfie, you might want to maybe try again in a different light, perhaps. That could possibly be... Okay, here we go, gang. Let's take a look at this. All right, so I got the Cash App. Actually, as you can see, the Binance alert came in 3 minutes before the Cash App alerted me that it was on the blockchain, right? So Binance that was very quick. I think we did this last week, and it took forever for the Cash App. Bitcoin was on the rise last week, or the week before, I guess it was. Maybe Monday. All right, so we can look at our balances. We'll hide small balance. You can see we've got that Bitcoin now. So what are we going to do with that Bitcoin? Let's go ahead and buy some Binance coin. It's my favorite coin right now. So we'll just go down here to Binance coin. We'll go over here to trade. And then we'll go to the BNB BTC trading pair. All right. I'm an impatient man, so I'm going to go to, whoops. Oh, they've changed their interface. They got margin trading now, which I am going to avoid like the plague. I got caught up in margin trading back in the late 90s in the stock market, and it's not as, it's almost like, when you first get into it, you're like, hey, free money. They're just letting me spend money I don't have. The problem is when the price of the stock that you buy with that free money goes down, you get liquidated. No fun. All right. So I'm not going to deal with margin trading. But I am going to go to market, and then I'm going to choose 100% of my Bitcoin that I just put in there, and I'm going to buy that BNB. Right? And you can see market buy order created. Right away, I did the transaction, and I should have the BNB coin in my Binance. And then they take me to this new thing here. All right, so I'm going to do hide small balances, and there you go. I've got some Binance coin. So I want to withdraw it. So I'm not sure. I just wanted to do this because a couple of people mentioned that there's this whitelisting thing that's preventing them from withdrawing. It just seems kind of odd to me. All right, so we'll do the Trust Wallet. The Trust Wallet is a non-custodial phone-based wallet. As you can see, I don't have a lot of crypto in there. I have several coins in there that I like to follow, so I have small amounts of them in there, just so I can see the current price of the coin. But as you can see, Binance coin is in there. So I'm going to tap Binance coin, and I'm going to do a receive, right? And there's the address of my Binance coin. Now, the interesting thing, though, is that I need to get that address over to my web browser. So I can't use my web browser to scan this QR code. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share that. Whoops. Yeah. I'm going to share, and I'm just going to email it to myself. That way, I'll have it in my web browser. All right. So let's go over to my email. You don't want to try and type in cryptocurrency addresses, right? That's a recipe for disaster. You could accidentally do a typo where you've got one digit wrong, and it will send your cryptocurrency to the wrong address, right? So there's the receiving address of the wallet that I want to send to. So let's go to withdrawal. All right, and I'm going to paste that address in. In fact, that I have used that address before, but I didn't have to wait 48 hours the first time I used it. I don't need a memo, right? Because I'm sending it to my own wallet. And I'm going to withdraw all of it. I would like to show you this. All right. That was a good comment. So I get some bad comments. All right, so we're going to submit this, and I need my Google Authenticator app, my code for Google Authenticator. So I'm going to type that in manually. Whoops. All right. All right, now I need to confirm that withdrawal. And I could do it from my phone, actually. We just wait a minute. There, it came in on my phone. And I can just hit confirm withdrawal there. All right, and then open my browser, and it's confirmed. Oh, the box is ready. Okay, thanks. Period. Don't forget to drop the slips in Lisa's box tonight. Period. I'll pick them up in the morning. Period. I also have those 2 priority mail pouches there against the wall for you to use next week. I'm sorry. Shop talk, right? Where were we? Oh yeah, we're gonna monitor trust and wait for that Binance coin to come in. Not yet. Usually Binance coin is pretty fast. But let's go to... Yeah, let's go over to withdrawal, right? I don't like this interface. Let's go to deposit. I like this one better. Okay, so they're processing the BNB withdrawal to that address. All right, so we can just sort of keep an eye on the phone. Let's pull down. Oh, I'm surprised. It usually happens very quickly. All right. I'm stuck in the driver's license authorization issue. Let's do that. Still not here. I'm so impatient. Stuck on the driver's license authorization issue. The scanning app does not recognize the back of my driver's license, and I am not prompted for any other options to authorize myself. Okay. The whitelisting is on Coinbase. Okay. I've never experienced that. I guess it's a new thing on Coinbase, huh? Very interesting. I was not aware of that. Need to dye my hair. Yes, they do. I've reached out to them on Twitter and Reddit. I'm waiting to hear back. Maybe just a Coinbase issue. I wrote to them and they told me they're going to fix it in 3 days. That was 2 weeks ago. I've used Bittrex and I like it okay. I've been using Binance more just because it's easier for me, and I've been buying a lot of BNB. Yes, BitPay versus BitPay Visa card. I think Binance fees are lower, and if you use BNB to pay your fees, you get a 50% discount. So there's a question about how to buy coins. Coinbase was always my favorite on-ramp, easy to use. Most of the videos that I've posted over the last 2 years, Coinbase is where I start. There it goes. All right. So we got our BNB coin in our wallet. Only took a couple of minutes. Right. So we're sitting pretty with Binance coin. So let's do a little investigation on the Coinbase and see about this whole whitelisting thing. I'm curious about this. So the question about on-ramp, fiat on-ramp. Well, we just used Cash App. That's a real easy way to buy Bitcoin and then use it to, you can transfer it to your own wallet, or you can use it to fund a cryptocurrency exchange. You've got Coinbase, of course. You can use Bittrex, but you have to be approved to wire money, and it's $1,000 minimum. So you have to be kind of a high player to use Bittrex. And then there's Crypto.com, which is the app that I was demoing earlier, and that might be a really good solution for people that are having trouble getting authorized on any other website. Crypto.com does that sort of, verification thing, but I got through mine without too much trouble. So let's go over to Coinbase, see what's cooking over at Coinbase tonight. All right. Whoops, I'm going to let the auth go to the next iteration. Oops. Alright, I don't think I have anything in Coinbase at the moment. Looks like I do. Alright, so I've got $10 worth of Bitcoin, I'm assuming. Yeah, alright. So I've got some Bitcoin, and I would like to send it. So let's go over here to our Ledger Nano X. All right, so we're gonna enter the Bitcoin app on the Ledger Nano X. It's not gonna fly, is it? Right, we're gonna enter the Bitcoin app. Right. Oh, I'm still in focus a little bit. Too much focus in my for my comfort level, but that's okay. I am who I am. All right, so if we hit receive, the idea here is that I'm in the app and I'm just going to go inside. I'm using the Ledger Nano X connected, just like I would be using a Ledger Nano S. And some people might go, oh, well, why bother using the X if you're just going to connect it to the computer? Well, it functions just like a Ledger Nano S, but it has more storage and a bigger screen. And that's enough said in my book. Alternately, you can also use the Bluetooth option if you have a mind to. So at this point, it's going to generate a Bitcoin address for me. And I don't believe I've ever used this Bitcoin address. And I can verify it. All right, I can see it. It's the same address, right? I'm gonna approve it. All right, and then I'm gonna copy the address into my clipboard. And then we're gonna go back over here to Bitcoin, and I'm gonna paste it in there. All right, and now it wants to. It asked me where do I want to send it. I said right here. How much do I want to send? I'll send the max, which I'm gonna take a little bit of a hit. I'm gonna hit continue, and then it says, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And I'm like, "Yes." So I'll enter my two-factor authentication. All right, and I hit confirm, and I did not get whitelisted. I'm not sure what this whole thing about whitelisting is all about, but it appeared to send it. And we'll just go back over here, and we can look at that. See, it says send Bitcoin pending. We can go back over here and just sort of keep an eye on it. And I should see a new one that says July 12th here shortly. So I'm still a little confused about this whitelisting you guys are talking about. Maybe if your account isn't fully confirmed, something of that nature is why your new addresses are getting whitelisted. Oh, there it is, right there. Boom, received. Okay, it took like less than 15 seconds. So I don't understand why people are telling me that a wallet generating a new address is causing a 48-hour delay. I don't get it. So I don't mean to be flippant about it, but maybe you're doing something different than me. I don't know. And normally I wouldn't have done it that way. I would have transferred that Bitcoin to Coinbase Pro and then transferred it to save money. But I thought perhaps that it was Bitcoin proper that was doing this whitelisting business. But I didn't get, that address did not get whitelisted for me. All right. I had the same problem. They would not accept my withdrawal even when I did my license and photo, so I had to leave my card on the Cash App. Then they let me do a withdrawal of my Bitcoins from Cash. Okay. Oh, so it was Coinbase Pro that's whitelisting now. Okay. They just go to sleep and come back the next day. Oh, it is on Coinbase Pro. Well, now it's too late. Okay. So Coinbase Pro is now whitelisting people if you try to send to an address you've never sent before. A brand new address, supposedly. Where are we? I don't believe I have any currently on Coinbase Pro. Let's go to wallets, right? It's got some DAI and some US dollar. All right, so let's use the US dollar. Oh, I don't think that's enough to actually buy anything. Let's see here. BTC US dollar. I don't think it's going to let me do this. Oops. I guess not. Market? There it is. Ah, has to be more than $10. Okay. Well, I'll have to pick this up next week. I'll look into that and find out what this whole whitelisting business is all about. Sorry to hear that. But like I said, if I were to take this address that I just used, and after it's been de-whitelisted or actually entered into the whitelist, I could continue to use that same address to send Bitcoin to that same wallet. Even though the wallet will generate a brand new receiving address every time, the original address, any of those addresses, can be used multiple times if you want to, right? So just copy and paste that address into your clipboard or into a text file somewhere, and if this whitelisting 48-hour thing is a problem, just keep using the exact same address that is already in the cryptocurrency exchange. It will go to that same wallet. Just because it's generated a brand new receiving address does not mean that the old receiving addresses don't work anymore. Quite the contrary. All of the existing public addresses will continue to work and allow you to send Bitcoin, Litecoin, or whatever to those wallets on the Ledger or the desktop wallet. So if that's a problem for you, then and we verify that that's the issue, then just copy and paste the whitelisted address into your clipboard into a text file and just use that when you want to withdraw. So that'll solve that issue. You'll be sacrificing a little bit of privacy, not that much security, but mostly privacy, right? Your public address will show multiple transactions on multiple dates from Coinbase. It'll be obvious, how much money you've been moving into that wallet based on simple blockchain public address analysis. But that's not a huge issue. Okay, guys, so best of luck to you. I hope that all works out. Sorry I didn't quite catch exactly what you guys were talking about. It was I thought it was a Coinbase issue. I guess it turns out that Coinbase Pro is doing the whitelisting thing. So I'll check into that for you guys. We'll talk about it next week. Heard anything about them shutting down PGP? No, I have not heard anything like that. Interesting. I know that governments don't like free open source cryptography, that they would like to get backdoors built into it. So there may be some countries, like Australia, I think is on the forefront of this, that are trying to shut down legitimate cryptocurrency applications and software. So I'll look into that too. Interesting. Shut down PGP. We'll have to get to that next time. I'll try to do more live streams, maybe 1 or 2 a week instead of just one. And I'm going to throw up some more videos for you guys next week. I'll have some more Crypto.com info for you guys. They're supporting my channel now, and I'm going to, support them in return. So I look for more about Crypto.com. Looks very interesting. And hopefully it'll be a cheap way to buy cryptocurrencies. Yeah, Sarah and Mike, that was the first news item that we started with, was the Trump tweeting about Bitcoin. So you guys can check out the video, just rewatch from the beginning. We talked quite a bit too long about that, I think. So don't forget, the live stream is every Friday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Please join me again for the live Q&A in LA. Throw out any questions that you may have. I'll do my best to get them answered on the fly, and hope to see you again next week. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I would appreciate it. When you subscribe, there's a little bell that you can click that will allow you to be alerted whenever I post new content. Once again, thanks for joining me, and hope to see you guys again soon.